I rise with your leave to present the resolution seeking parliamentary approval for the Governor-General to proclaim and declare a state of emergency to exist in St. Christopher and Nevis for a period of 6 months starting on June 7th, 2021. Mr. Speaker, the state of emergency has become a critical tool to assist us in the fight against COVID-19. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic last year in March, we have utilized this tool to help us control the virus. Emergency powers were utilized in the first instance last year for a period not exceeding 21 days, which is the limit placed on the time span for which the Governor-General can promulgate a state of emergency without the approval of the Parliament. Mr. Speaker, on June 15th this year, the Governor-General exercised the authority vested in him by Section 19 of the Constitution to declare a state of emergency in St. Christopher and Nevis for a period of 21 days. That is until the 6th of July, which will be Tuesday next week. Given the continuing community spread, there is a need for the state of emergency to be extended beyond July 6, as the COVID-19 pandemic still presents an existential threat to lives and livelihoods in St. Kitts and Nevis. Indeed, on Saturday last, our Chief Medical Officer advised that a new variant, the Lambda, which is more transmissible, is present in our federation. We have come today, ahead of the expiry date of the current state of emergency, to seek an extension for a period of 6 months. You will be aware, Mr. Speaker, that we can have a period not exceeding 12 months. We have come on this occasion to seek the indulgence of the Parliament for a 6 month period. It is important for the people of St. Christopher and Nevis to be aware of the following. One, that the state of emergency provides the strongest legal anchor for the promulgation of curfews in St. Kitts and Nevis. The curfews provide a lockdown that prohibits the movement of people. If persons stay in shelter, the probability of a COVID spread is significantly and dramatically reduced, Mr. Speaker, and this is what, in large measure, we are attempting to do now. I therefore want to reiterate my call for all persons in St. Kitts and Nevis to stay at home, including their yard space, and minimize contact with others outside of their household during the period of the lockdown. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the legality of the state of emergency resolutions and associated SRNOs were challenged in the High Court last year by claimants associated with the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, to wit the Honourable Denzel Douglas, the Honourable Marcella Liebert, and the Honourable Conris Maynard. It's important to note that the claimants lost their case in the High Court. The electorate, no doubt, saw through the politicization of the management of the COVID-19 pandemic by the Douglas Labour Party, and it rejected Conris Maynard and Marcella Liebert, and of course the other member of the NRP, Mr. Patrice Nisbet. The Honourable Dr. Denzel Douglas was returned with reduced votes, indeed with a 16% shift in support to our new candidate, Ambassador Kevin Williams. The short point is that on matters of national crisis, to wit, a health pandemic, sensible people will not tolerate the same old political partisan approach. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, the position adopted by the Team Unity government in availing itself of all tools, I repeat, all tools to fight this dangerous and deadly pandemic, is the correct approach. Ours is the Life First strategy, and we will make difficult decisions to keep our people safe. It is still true that the health of our nation is indeed the wealth of our nation, and we therefore need to keep our people healthy and well so that they can contribute to wealth creation and the obvious development of this beautiful land of St. Kitts and Nevis. Fourthly, Mr. Speaker, most democratic countries in CARICOM have sought parliamentary approval to extend the state of emergency in their jurisdictions as part of the tool to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm advised that Antigua and Barbuda has a state of emergency which will expire on the 30th of September 2021. It was imposed on the 31st of March 2021. The Bahamas has a state of emergency since March 18, and this is expected to expire around August 12, 2021. Barbados imposed one on March 21st to deal with the community spread, and that was for a period ending the 30th of June 2021. Grenada, from March 30th, 2021 to July 2021. That is the extension they sought this year to deal again with the development of clusters in Grenada. However, on May 21st, 2021, the Grenadian government went back to Parliament and extended the state of emergency in Grenada to November 1st, 2021. St. Lucia, the state of emergency will go down to October 16, 2021. It is clear, Mr. Speaker, that a state of emergency is required to contain the community spread of COVID-19 in St. Kitts and Nevis and to prevent the overwhelming of our health system, and obviously then, by extension, to save lives. Please allow me to read in the records of the Parliament the full text of the resolution which we are called here to debate. It reads, Resolution of the National Assembly made under Section 19, subsection 3 of the St. Christopher Nevis Constitution Order. Whereas by virtue of the provisions of Section 19, subsection 1 of St. Christopher Nevis 1983 Constitution Order, the Governor-General may, by proclamation, declare that a state of emergency exists in St. Christopher Nevis for the purposes of Chapter 2 of the Constitution. And whereas by virtue of Proclamation number 23 of 2021, dated the 5th June 2021, the Governor-General declared a state of emergency for St. Christopher Nevis for the period 15 June 2021 until the 6th of July 2021, on the ground of the threat of a natural calamity of the COVID-19 virus, an infectious disease which had taken effect on a pandemic scale and which threatened the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. I pause to advise, Mr. Speaker, that around the world, this COVID-19 pandemic has infected over 180 million people and had caused the death of nearly 4 million people, 3.92, Mr. Speaker. And of course, within the region, Jamaica's had the highest death toll. We have had high deaths in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Antigua, and in our own beloved country, we have had 3 deaths. For us, 1 death is one too many. and I want, on behalf of the government and us here in the Parliament, to express condolences to the bereaved families who are mourning at this time the loss of their loved ones due to the awful COVID-19 pandemic. We go and continue with the resolution, Mr. Speaker. It says, and whereas Section 19, subsection 3 of the St. Christopher and Nevis Constitution Order provides that a declaration of emergency should lapse at the expiration of a period of 21 days, beginning with the date of the publication of the declaration, and whereas pursuant to Section 19 of the St. Christopher and Nevis 1983 Constitution Order, a declaration of emergency may be extended by resolution of the National Assembly up to a period of 12 months or shorter period as may be specified therein. And whereas pursuant to Section 19, subsection 8 of the St. Christopher and Nevis 1983 Constitution Order, a resolution of the National Assembly for the purposes of subsection 3 shall not be passed in the Assembly unless it is supported by the votes of not less than 2/3 of all representatives and senators. And whereas the COVID-19 virus continues to pose a significant threat of a natural calamity on the scale of a public health emergency to the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, and it is therefore necessary to extend the state of emergency up to the 31st of December 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by this National Assembly that it is necessary to extend the state of emergency up to the 31st day of December 2021 to take effect from the 7th day of July 2021 to combat the threat of the COVID-19 virus to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Mr. Speaker, I want to make it pellucidly clear that the measures such as the state of emergency powers which we are seeking to invoke and seeking to get parliamentary approval, these measures are being brought for one reason and one reason only: to save lives. We could not as a government allow a situation to occur where COVID-19 is allowed to run uncontrolled and lives are put at risk. That is why we are taking these tough measures now. The government knows these measures will disappoint some and inconvenience many, but these temporary inconveniences are a small price, a very small price to pay to save the lives of many. We will not apologize for, nor will we step back from our lives first strategy. The time will come when we will learn to live with COVID-19 and contain it as we do other infectious diseases. Indeed, over the last century or so, we have had about 10 pandemics and we have had to cope with them. We may be a far way off from that day, yet it is immunization that will get us out of the shadow of COVID-19. I therefore want to encourage all people who have not yet been vaccinated to do so. You have an opportunity today to do so. You have an opportunity tomorrow and on Wednesday to get vaccinated and ensure that you get your second dose of the vaccine that has been provided so far. So we want to encourage our people to go out in the numbers to protect themselves, their families, their co-workers, indeed to protect everyone in their community and in our country. Every health expert, Mr. Speaker, and every health academic, every practitioner, every nurse, and every doctor, Mr. Speaker, will all agree that immunization is the most effective way that we can deal with COVID-19. And that is why there is strong support, such committed support, such dedicated support for the government's vaccination program among the health community. I pause to thank every doctor. I gather 98% of them have moved forward and have become vaccinated. I want to thank every nurse, especially they in the communities who are going beyond the call of duty during Monday to Friday work hours and beyond on Saturdays and this weekend and Sunday to ensure that the vaccination program continues to roll out successfully and strong. We are nearing a critical benchmark in our vaccination program. We have one of the best rollout of vaccination programs in the hemisphere, and we are indeed proud of our health people and all those who have been helpful in ensuring that we could achieve this critical milestone. I want to remember the retired nurses who came back out to serve their country and to ensure, by and large, that they make a contribution at this critical time. Mr. Speaker, I said most doctors are 98% of them because really the only doctors we know in the country who do not support community immunization program sit in the Labour Party. At no stage, Mr. Speaker, truth be told, has the Labour Party supported publicly the community immunization program. They have made no serious effort to encourage people to be vaccinated. They engage in a sad old dance of being neither for nor against vaccination. They engage in the fallacy that you should wait a vaccine that is not WHO approved, not available here, while the one here is due to expire, Mr. Speaker. That is what we have had. The Labour Party has shown no serious support for the community immunization program against COVID-19. Instead, it has sought to sow seeds of doubt and confusion in the community. Its attitude and actions have either intentionally or unintentionally given comfort to the anti-vaxxers in our community. They have provided a home for conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers. Through their words and their actions, they are allowing people to think it is okay not to be vaccinated, further keeping us in COVID-19's grip. And this is unfortunate, and this is so wrong, and they must stop that behavior now. Our people deserve better. Rather than put St. Kitts and Nevis first, they put themselves and their failing political careers first. Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House saw a global pandemic that needed strong measures to be taken to protect the lives of our people. Those opposite us saw a political game to be played for political advantage. This is really tragic. This is a dangerous game that members opposed to the government are playing. I must warn them, Mr. Speaker, that the consequences of their failure to support the community immunization program are very severe. It is a dangerous game being played. It is an unpatriotic game being played out, Mr. Speaker. The consequences are likely to be serious illness and death to the very people that members opposite pretend to love. Mr. Speaker, this team unity government will continue our all of society approach. We will continue to work with all sectors of the community. We will continue to encourage people to be vaccinated because it still is the best and most powerful tool we have in our arsenal to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. We will continue to work closely with those who support community immunization program. When people's lives are at stake, when this is a matter of life or death, you either do or you don't. You're either for or you're against. There is no basis for neutrality because life is too precious, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to invite the colleagues and the opposition benches to join me to send a signal that they are fully in support of the vaccination program. No dance around it. You are for it and you will take it. Demonstrate to the public your confidence in the safety and efficacy of the vaccination, of the vaccines. We have a vaccine, the AstraZeneca, which is being used by 148 countries around the world. Most widely used vaccine. Mr. Speaker, its efficacy and its safety are not in doubt, Mr. Speaker. We therefore, in the words of Dr. Etienne of PAHO, must tell our people the best vaccine that you have is the one that is available now. Now, for there is no time to delay. So again, I appeal to colleagues opposite to let us work together on this one. Let us work together for the health and safety of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, because by God's grace, this pandemic too will pass. More of our people, in fact, most of our people have done the right thing. And I want to commend everyone that has moved forward and has received at least their first shot of the vaccine. And to commend those who are going out today, tomorrow and Wednesday to get their second shot of the vaccine. I want you to remember that the life that you may be saving may very well be yours. Mr. Speaker, may it please the Honourable House, I thank you.